Ready? So welcome to the Master of Science and Human Development and Early Childhood Disorders Information Session. We refer to this program as the HDCD MS program. That is the acronym I will use today too. H for human, D for development, C for childhood, and D for disorders. The HDCD Master in Science, HDCD-MS. So we're so happy to have you here and really appreciate that you have taken the time to learn about this program. A quick heads up that we're recording this session too, as a number of students who couldn't be here today did request the recording. I'm Dr. Meredith Grant, and I serve as the program head for the HDCD program. I'm also the program head for the Child Learning and Development undergraduate program and a professor of instruction at UTD. I was a doctoral student at UTD and love this school. I hope I can convey to you what an outstanding university and program this is, largely because of the fantastic students and the alumni that we have in this HDCD program. Dr. Zlata Stankovic Ramirez is also an instructional faculty in the HDCD program and in CLTP. She leads the HDCD internships. And Dr. Z, would you like to say a little bit more about yourself?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm a new faculty member here. I am also a assistant professor of instruction, and I really enjoy teaching undergraduate child development courses, but even more my graduate courses with my grad students, which hopefully one day you guys will be. I teach assessment and atypical development and also field placements, and we just get to really dive deep and learn about how children develop, about what some of the disorders are that can afflict them, and how to help young children, which is my passion and personally why I got a PhD in child development. So I'm so excited that you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here.
Christy Noel is the academic support coordinator for the HDCD program and for the psychology master's degree program too. That position is similar to what academic advisors do at the undergraduate level, but it is also so much more. HDCD students tell us all the time how supportive and insightful Christy is. And aside from being just an absolute joy, Christy also has expertise in career assessment and in intercultural awareness training. Christy, would you like to say more too?
That was a lot. Thank you, Dr. Grant. I'm just excited that everyone, you can join us today. I look forward to you learning more about our program and also hearing the questions that you may have and how we can address those questions. So thank you for being here.
So this is our agenda for today. We'll start with an overview of the program, including requirements and curriculum. And we will turn to field placements. They are our practicum and internship courses, also addressing how those experiences lend themselves to various career paths. We will talk about the admissions application requirements and process for typical and fast track students. And of course, we'll end with time for questions and answers. So let's turn now to some information about the program. The HDCD MS program is a unique program to UTD because it involves both traditional classes and field experiences that support graduates in preparation to enter the market to work in early childhood intervention careers in schools and medical settings, nonprofits, and more. These jobs are diverse, and students need to have content knowledge, professional experiences, and also practical hands-on training. So graduates of this program enter the market prepared to apply knowledge about typical child development, especially from infancy to the age 5 or even slightly older. So we're talking about very early in development. They're also prepared to administer comprehensive developmental assessments to plan and implement intervention services. The assessment tools used in the ECI workplaces can really vary. So in our courses, we focus on supporting students in learning both some of the most common assessments, but also in readiness to learn any developmental assessment that they might need to administer. Students are prepared to apply ethical professional practices to work with children, families, and the community. The ethics of working with children, especially children with developmental delays and disorders, and coming from incredibly interesting and diverse backgrounds, can be different and sometimes a little bit more convoluted than working with typically developing adults, for example. Students are prepared to critically evaluate research evidence to implement best practices in the field. This is a research-based curriculum. So the content assessment and intervention paradigms that are suggested are research supported. Research literacy is a requirement in this program, as ECI practitioners should have the tools they need to stay abreast of the latest research findings. But for this program, it is an option, but not a requirement to be a creator of research or a researcher per se. So students can seek lab experiences for credit. They can take statistics courses, but those are elective options. They're not mandatory. So you have that option, but you don't have to if you don't want to in this program. Students in our program show increased self-awareness through reflective supervision. So throughout field placement experiences, students are enrolled in a course with Dr. Z, where they are getting supervision on campus that's supplementary to the supervision that they're also receiving at their sites. So here's a little bit of general program information. This is a 2-year applied program for typical students. That's 5 semesters, including 1 summer semester. It goes fall, spring, summer, fall, spring, you graduate, like that. Students build specialized knowledge of child development from birth to age 5 or older, including major milestones of typical development and developmental delays and disorders. Diagnostic developmental assessment and intervention techniques with children, their families, and within the community. Intervention techniques can often involve harnessing community resources for the child. Best practices for working with children and families. This coursework is combined with supervised fieldwork experiences, the practicum and internship that I've already mentioned. And there's also professional development training provided throughout the program, starting as early as the first semester of your first year. Our program asks for alumni to provide us with feedback about their experiences, even years after they have left us and they're working on the job. And some of the things that they report as their most valuable parts of their experience when they were in the program. They tell us their favorites are things like learning or gaining a better understanding of cultural and ethical values and approaches to child development, enhanced communication skills and therapy skills, specialized classes taught by professors who are extremely knowledgeable about these subjects. Alumni report also that they love the field placement supervision on campus, that it's a chance to learn more than just what they've done at their site, because they're hearing from other students and learning about their experiences as well. They tell us it's an opportunity to practice concepts in the field, such as assessments, and it also helps them to stay connected with other students in the program by coming back and talking about their experiences at field placements. Also, many HDCD students report appreciation for our professional development series because we have all different types of meetings, and we usually feed you breakfast or lunch, and so it's a very community building experience. Their favorite meetings often involve inviting alumni to come and talk about their experiences because they get really a good idea of how to get to the different career paths they might like. Will you move that? So a typical student in the HDCD program finishes their undergraduate degree in a related major or with related coursework, and they start the program as a graduate student in the fall of their first year. The HDCD program requires 39 graduate course hours, 21 hours of core courses, 9 hours of approved electives, and 9 hours of applied practicum and internship experiences. You can see how these courses are distributed in the plan of study that's in the light blue in the slide in front of you. Because many of the HDCD courses are sequenced, and because many of the HDCD courses are prerequisite for those field experiences that take place during your second year, students follow this very specific degree plan that during their first year of fall, they take infancy, assessment theory, and atypical development. And during their first year in spring, so that's their second semester, they take preschool, which builds on infancy, developmental assessment, which builds on assessment theory, and medical and biobehavioral aspects. During that summer, they take an intervention course, which is intervention with young children, and that involves not only hands-on a class, but it's also hands-on training, which currently takes place at Brian's house, where they're getting to work with a lot of different HDCD alumni and be exposed to really very hands-on opportunities to learn how ECI placements function. Then our curriculum turns to field placements, both in fall and spring. So in fall, it's first a trial where you're doing 3 credit hours or 10 hours a week on site, and then 6 hours or 6 hours a week, or rather 20 hours a week on site. Students also take 3 advanced electives or more if they want to, and the elective options are always changing as we try to support students. It includes courses like trauma-informed care, families and culture, a seminar on autism, a special course on grief, child psychopathology. So students may also seek opportunities to work in developmental research labs for elective credit too, if they wish. So that's the typical path for students who are entering our program. Oops, back one. Okay. The HDCD program also has a fast track option. So this is for undergraduate students who want to start the HDCD program while they are still an undergraduate student. It's rigorous and it takes a lot of study time and a lot of organization, but it is a great opportunity for saving both time and money. Money because when you're taking graduate courses as an undergraduate student, it actually costs less. But also time because you're combining your last year of your undergraduate degree with your first year of your graduate degree. So you're overlapping a year in training and you cut down an entire year on your way towards both an undergraduate degree and a master's degree. Fast track students should have 2 semesters left as an undergraduate, a fall and a spring left as an undergraduate. So you would be applying the year before that when you're a junior. And then you follow one of these 2 options, either option 1 or option 2 for coursework with these caveats. So HDCD fast track students can earn credit for no more than 5 graduate courses while they're an undergraduate still. So there's a limit on the number of graduate courses that you can take as an undergraduate student. There is a limit on the number of graduate courses you can take as an undergraduate student. HDCD fast track students also need to take 3 advanced electives like a typical HDCD student, but they're spaced slightly differently in the degree just because you're combining undergraduate courses with your graduate courses. So for instance, if you look at option 1, during your fall year of this would be your senior year of your undergraduate degree and your first year as a graduate student, you would take 2 graduate courses and either 2 or 3 undergraduate courses to complete your degree. And then in spring, you go to taking 3 graduate level courses and then either 1 or 2 undergraduate courses. So you're still taking the same courses that graduate students take. It's just a slightly different order in order to support finishing your undergraduate degree too. Dr. Z now is going to take over and talk about really the second year, your fall and your spring practicum and internship opportunities.
Thank you so much, Dr. Grant. So what I would like to start out by saying is that you have such a unique experience doing 2 field experiences with us. So what that entails is in semester 1, you are going to do 10 hours of a field placement. We have established relationships and really positive relationships with several organizations in the community. And we will place you where you think that you would thrive from the list of what's available. And then you would go and do 10 hours of field experience. Your job there is to learn, to shadow, to take notes, to really get familiar with the organization and with how they do assessments, how they administer treatment, and for you to really try out a profession before you commit to it, right? And so it's a very unique experience. After you complete your field experience 1, which right now currently I have students in my fall course right now completing field experience 1 for 10 hours. The following semester in the spring, you will be at a placement for 20 hours. And what that means is you are going to be more involved with the organization, learning some more of those skills. And now there is an option for you to remain in the same field experience between fall and spring. We do offer that as an option. Let's say you do your fall field experience and you, let's say you do it with any number of organizations and you really enjoy it and you love it and you want to go back for your next 20 hours and do your field experience second part with them, we encourage you to do so and gain those skills that you need. Or you could choose to try something else. Currently, I have students, some are wanting to stay in their current field experience and some want to try something new. Because remember, this is your opportunity to gain those valuable skills that you need and really see what type of setting you want to work with children. And so that could be in a therapeutic setting. It could be in an educational setting. It could be in a community-based family intervention type organization. So there's lots of different places where you can actually utilize this degree and lots of different settings and varieties. So some students choose to stick with their internship and some choose to try something new. And let's look at some of those. So here are some of your career paths. So I will tell you guys, Dr. Z has worked with young children 0 to 5 in therapeutic settings and in educational settings. So that is my personal experience. But look at all of these potential jobs that you could have. So our HDCD graduates have worked as early intervention specialists for ECI, early intervention physical therapists, so certified teachers, early childhood special education teachers, which several have worked with me in types of settings I was in, registered behavior technicians, and curriculum development specialists. So there's such an array of how you could interact and interface with young children at ages 0 to 5, and like Dr. Grant said, a little bit older. But you could be in any of these different settings working with children and really being that person who directly has an impact on their lives. The sooner, as we know, the sooner we intervene with young children, the better it is, the better outcome it is for them. So for you to be trained and specialize in even understanding what assessments you can administer, what assessments are, how to do them, and really getting those children the therapies and services that they need early on is going to impact their lives in a positive way for the rest of their lives, right? So some of the places where our students have worked are the Warren Center, Brighton Center, first 3 years. We also have people working for the ISDs, the Grand Prairie ISD, the Belton ISD, Life Path System, Autism Response Team, and Springling Therapy. And there is a link in this PowerPoint, and you can actually explore any one of these further to see if these are the types of careers and the types of places that you would want to potentially be a part of, right? And so these are just some. This is not an exhaustive list. These are just some of the amazing places where you could potentially work. Also, our graduates graduates have furthered their education. This is exciting for me because I love mentoring master level students to get their PhD. So this is a passion of mine. By helping them enroll in doctoral programs. So a lot, actually, I have several students right now who are exploring and telling me, I'm going to get my PhD in counseling psychology or in special education or speech language pathology. I have two right now who are exploring that option. Ideology, teaching certificates, right? So this is where I think that exciting piece happens, where students come to us, they get this specialized training, these specialized internships, these amazing classes, and then really go on to get PhDs or certificates or other things that will really improve their, first of all, ability to get a position that they're passionate about, and the ability to be marketable to our community in a positive way, and gain some of those jobs that they really dream about. I will tell you and report to you all that my students that I have this year, I have an amazing cohort, and they are just so passionate about helping young children. And if you're passionate about helping young children, then this is definitely a program for you.
Thank you, Dr. Salata. I'm going to spend some time talking about the application process. Now, as Dr. Grant mentioned, this is like cohort experience. So we only accept new cohorts in the fall, and our priority application deadline is February the 15th. And that's whether you are applying through the typical route or through fast track. And we will consider applications after the priority deadline on a rolling basis until May the 1st. As far as the requirements, applicants should have a bachelor's degree, have at least a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale in their undergraduate level coursework. GRE scores are optional for fall 2024. 3 letters of recommendation from individuals who are able to judge your potential for success in our program. A narrative outlining your academic interests and career goals. And for international applicants, you must have a TOEFL score of at least 80. Now, there are more specific requirements for international students. So I encourage those who are international applicants to click on the, scan the QR code below on the slide to learn more about application requirements specific to you. Is there anything you want to add to that? Oh, what? Sorry. Okay, so for fast track, the application is a paper form, so you would meet with your undergraduate advisor, and they'll just go over, just make sure that you're eligible to apply through the fast track program, and then they will sign off on the form. And I will get that in addition to, you'll also send me the 3 letters of recommendation in addition to the essay. The typical application process is online. And do I have that? If you go to, so this slide shows you the resources for more information. So for the application through the typical, you can actually find the link to that on the university graduate admission steps to apply. I apologize. I thought I included it in the slide, but I didn't. If you're interested in the fast track, you can reach out to me. Our contact information is on the last slide, and you can ask me for the fast track application. In addition to that, on this page, you have more places that you can learn more about the program. So we have the fact sheet. We have information on our program website, and we are recording this, as Dr. Grant mentioned, and once that recording is ready, we will upload that to our program website. In addition, this page lists the link to go to the UT Dallas graduate catalog, and also our scholarships and awards under the School of Behavioral and Brain Sciences to learn about those funding opportunities. I get a lot of questions about that. And then I also listed the General School of Behavioral and Brain Sciences website. In addition to UT Dallas has an awesome office that is focuses on our international students. So that's the International Students and Scholars office that you can visit that link to learn more about them. I included, did we go over, we didn't go over the admit, the quick admit. So for undergraduates through UT Dallas, there are recent graduates. You also have the option of what is called a quick admit process. So it bypasses where you don't have to go on to the online application, the regular online application. And that is for individuals who have a specific GPA. And I encourage you, if you're interested, if you're undergraduate, you're getting ready to graduate, if you're interested in that quick admit process, especially if you are a CLP major or psychology major, I encourage you to visit that link right here, the UT Dallas admit process and application to learn more about that quick admit process. I also get questions about the cost of the program. There is a tuition estimator on the bursar's office that you can plug in whether you're a resident or non-resident. Currently, right now, what's showing the most recent term is spring 2024. You can still get a kind of idea of what the tuition is based off of that, and then choosing our school. And then putting in 9 hours, since we're asking our students to be full-time. So in full-time for graduate school is at least 9 credit hours. And then once you do that and check on the acknowledgement disclaimer, then it'll show you how much the program is by semester. Dr. Grant mentioned that it's over a course of 5 semesters. So that can kind of give you an idea of how much the program is overall. Is there anything you want to add to that, Dr. Grant or Dr. Salata? Okay. Sometimes
Yeah,
I
I
feel
would
like I'm
add one
missing
thing,
stuff.
if
Yes.
that's okay.
Mhm.
And it's actually pertaining to the previous slide. When we're reviewing applications, when you write that narrative that's outlining your academic interests and your career goals, especially for this program, one of the things we are especially looking for is an understanding of what this program is and what you might be able to do with that degree. So we're really looking for goodness of fit, that you want to be in this program, that you want to learn about early childhood development, that you have a passion for working with children. Now, your career path can look in many different ways. That may be that you're interested in starting here and going on to graduate school, or it may be that you want to start here and then get teaching certification and work, but have that master's degree. All of those things are possible, but it's really important that you speak to some understanding of what this program is and why it is that you want to be here with us.
Love it. And with that, we're opening it up for questions.
And you guys can put the questions in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask us. We're open to both.
Hey, Dr. Z.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your favorite thing about the program?
Oh my gosh. My favorite thing about the program so far is seeing the evolution of my students from sort of maybe looking or tapping into a certain profession, but really changing their mind as we're reading some of our texts and looking at talking through some of the potential jobs. So that's been really fascinating and fun to see their evolution as they gain more knowledge and learn more, or learn about other opportunities that they didn't even think of, right? Titles of jobs that they never thought were possible, or things that other alumni are doing. They came back from an alumni event the other Wednesday, and they were so energized and excited to tell me, oh, did you know that this job exists? And and this alumni is doing this, and she loves it, and here's what her day-to-day looks like. So really watching them grow as professionals. I do have a couple of things embedded in my courses where they have to interview a professional, they have to interview a parent. So they're getting all of this information. So really watching that transformation has been my favorite part so far, for sure.
I think we have a question. Thank you.
All
I
right.
think we have a question in the chat too. So that the question is there an option for part-time students who want to work while in graduate school? The program is designed to be a full-time graduate program, but a number of our students do work. They generally work part-time and in jobs to practicum and internship. Some students, if their job is potentially relevant to the HDCD program and they are getting appropriate supervision, we can sometimes do a site visit and develop an agreement to where at least a portion of the work that they're already doing can sometimes count towards the program if it is a good fit for the program. So there isn't a possibility of reducing the coursework just because of the way things are lined up. It is expected to be full-time, but many students are able to make that work.
Yes, and to speak to that a little bit, I'm also typing it at the same time.
Sure.
I have students currently that are working part-time and are in our internship part-time. And like Dr. Grant said, their jobs are related to what we're doing in the program. And so that's always kind of a nice, honestly, crossover. Some students are in paid internships. I have a student right now who has potentially 2 paid internships available to her. We'll see which one she gets, and her 20 hours will be paid, and she will get credit for it for class. And some are unpaid. So it just really depends on goodness of fit. Like, what job are you trying to do? And really, you are there to learn and gain those skills. So when you get out into the workforce, you have them. But if you can get paid, and that is an option, we absolutely will explore it if it meets the goals and standards of our program. So that is absolutely a possibility, but it is a full-time program, and your internship hours are typically during working business hours.
Let's see. And then Abby asks, let's see, what if we are or will be employed full-time by UTD by the time we're working on the graduate program? How may that impact our practicum or internship work? So practicum and internships are all different depending on where exactly you're working. For your practicum or internship. So there may be challenges in trying to balance the hours. But it can be done many times. It just depends on how flexible it is. Like if you're working in the dean's office, on how flexible that is to be able to find the balance between the two. Many jobs in ECI involve oftentimes morning times, because when you're working with young children, you need to be able to meet with them when they are also at their energetic best. Nap time maybe not as helpful as those morning times. So sometimes it can be that you're maybe distributing your hours across 3 days, but it may also be sometimes that you're distributing your working mornings, for example. It depends on what you work out with your site. Dr. Z, do you want to say more to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that I completely understand that some of you might be eager to get out into the world and, especially after 4 years of undergrad, and if you're only working part-time, gain those full-time jobs. But do remember, this this season of your graduate work is really designed to give you the skill set that you need to go on and potentially earn more, once you are done. And so some of the programs that Dr. Grant talked about that are fast track, the ability for you to wrap up your senior year and have your first year of our program done only really leaves you in our program for an additional year. And then you have the skill set of knowing how to do assessments, how to be with families, with young children, and really increases your earning potential. So really definitely think about that in that way, that you're investing your time now to earn more over the course of your lifespan. And so that's really, if you look at it that way, your master's program will make more sense to you financially, because I have noticed, for me personally, and for many of my colleagues and many people I've interfaced and worked with, having a master's degree increases your salary by $10,000 to $15,000 per year. We know that, those are facts. And so, we really want you to think about that. You are investing the time, but there is a payout at the end, and also the ability to gain some of these jobs that you wouldn't be able to otherwise without a master's degree and some of the skills you're going to be learning in our program. So I've seen students successfully work part-time in our program, and balance it, but I was just typing, but it does require you to plan and be intentional with your time. Absolutely.
Let's see, then the next class, the question I see in chat is there a course elective on family dynamics and its impact on childhood development? I would say that's embedded in a number of courses, as well as there are courses specific to it. So for example, there's a families and culture class that's going to speak a lot to that, but family systems and how that impacts child development is in more than just that class. It will be in trauma-informed care. It will how the family impacts children will be in the developing infant or the developing toddler. So I would say yes, but maybe in more classes than you're anticipating by name alone. Yeah, let's see.
Like, for example, Dr. Grant, next semester we have the family psychology course that can be considered as an advanced elective for this program.
Christy, I'm so glad you said that. Our next question said, what do the elective courses look like or include? So you really answer that perfect timing and perfectly on cue. So they want to know, what some potential electives they could take are. And maybe Dr. Grant, or you can speak to that. And then we're getting more questions. So this is great. Go ahead.
I just put a fairly lengthy list of some of the electives that are offered. So electives for this class or for this program can vary a lot. Some of them are offered because they're at the graduate level. They're not always taught every year. And we kind of try to listen also. We look for opportunities and also try to listen to you. But these are some of the courses that are often offered. For instance, this summer, we will offer a trauma-informed care class as well. That's not on this list, but we have a professor for it and are able to provide it. And it's definitely something that's useful to somebody who's working in these kinds of careers. So we're really excited to bring it. The seminar on autism is sometimes offered. That's often offered biannually. So it just depends. Does this answer?
I think what's great is that you are able to navigate that with Christy and Dr. Grant and myself to really say, I'm interested in this topic. And hopefully within your 5 semesters here, we will cover either a part of that in one of our classes, which we really try to tailor our classes to your needs, or, there will be that class that's offered and taught by an expert. So there are lots of opportunities for you to explore beyond our requirements in our core and really dive deep into the things that you're genuinely passionate about and interested in. And as you're reading this list and you're looking at it, just think through, are some of these classes things that interest me or things I always wondered about or wanted to know about? Because that will tell you if you fit in with the knowledge you're seeking and your curiosities within our program, right? So there's definitely more beyond the list that Dr. Grant so graciously provided that will help aid you in in learning some of those things. When I was a master's student in child development, I kind of was in a similar program you guys are on. And I remember specifically picking things that I thought were just so fascinating. I know I had a play class for sure, Dr. Grant, like Play Matters. I would have been all over that, right? And so, you pick the courses that really interest you, that you want to read about anyways and know more about, and grow your skill set that way.
You also have the option to, when you find experts, teachers that you really love, if they're willing to take you on for independent study, you can do that once as well. So you might write a literature review pertaining to a topic. You might do some sort of project pertaining to a topic. If they are doing some sort of project and you want to be involved in that, that would be an option for independent study too. I think at the undergraduate level, there's often quite a lot of structure. And at the graduate level, for this particular program, there is some structure in the courses that you take, but it's smaller. And so we can really take opportunities to listen to you and help try to facilitate you reaching what your career goals, at least to the extent that we have the expertise to be able to do so. Yeah. I saw another question. The question pertains to the Fast Track program. And the question is, what are the benefits of the Fast Track program? The two biggest benefits are the fact that you save quite a bit of money. To be able to take 5 graduate level courses at the undergraduate tuition rate is a substantial amount of money. I don't know if you know, but there is a price difference between taking a graduate level course and an undergraduate course. Part of that reason is that your graduate level courses are much, much smaller than what you've experienced as a graduate student. Your cohort in HDCD, your classes are generally going to vary from 10 to maybe 20 students, but it's generally going to be more like 10 to 12 students in your class. So it's a much smaller group. It's a discussion-oriented class often. The other really big standout benefit to the Fast Track program is that you're able to combine your senior year of your undergraduate degree with your first year of your graduate degree. So you're getting your undergraduate and your graduate degree in 5 years plus 1 summer versus 7 years plus a summer. So that's quite a bit of 7. Did I just say that right? 6 years plus 1 summer. Sorry. You're cutting off a year of your training and you're getting at the end of that a BS and an MS.
And just to give you guys an example, like right now I teach a child development course in the psychology department, and I have 263 undergrad students. They're freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, phenomenal group, but all different majors, all different walks of life, all different career aspirations, but they all wanted to know about child development, how children learn, grow, and develop. And so that class format tends to be more lecture-based. Yes, we have some interactions and some of those hands-on experiences, but it's very much I'm sharing the information, they're taking the information in. Whereas in graduate courses, like in my other 3 courses that I'm a part of, where I have 13 students, 13 and 10, we are able to read, I'm able to grade bigger papers, presentations. We have these guided discussion questions. We're able to really go deep and dive into our readings. And they also have more access to me one-on-one. If they need career advice or help with their resume or a reference letter or anything, I know them much more personally and in a more intimate way. And so graduate courses tend to be places where you have a group of students that you're kind of walking the program with, and you get to know your professors really well, and you get to have them as your mentors, a lot more so than an undergrad level. So that just to kind of give you guys an idea of the difference.
I can speak to that as well, sort of at a different level. So I'm program head for an undergraduate degree for CLDP and for a graduate degree, HDCD. For HDCD, I, from start to finish, feel like I actually have a lot more of hands-on interaction with the student. For the undergraduate program, I don't see the admissions process. It takes its place through admissions. I don't review the admissions packets. And the students, maybe I meet them in classes and maybe I don't, and they meet with their undergraduate advising when they're registering for classes. There wouldn't be reason for them to reach out to me because undergraduate advising will handle it. For the graduate program, though, I get to talk with students a lot. From start to finish, so I'm seeing their application packet. I get to talk to them at the HDCD orientation and meet them often in person after having read about them. And then throughout their years, whether I have them in class or whether I just get to meet them when they're registering or have professional questions or other kinds of questions, I get to see the HDCD students and talk to them throughout their time at UTD. It feels like a much longer term relationship. What else? Anything? Christy has just posted in the chat for us as well. She is asking all of us today to complete a short survey to give feedback on how we're doing in this information session. This is a first for us. We're just trying to reach people so that you all can have your questions answered and really learn about this unique program. If you have anything that you can tell us that we might be able to do better, or a better way of addressing this, let us know. Please take the time to give us that feedback.
We're so grateful for you guys coming to our info session and asking all these amazing, great questions. We would love to have you guys in our program and to help you reach your career aspirations and your goals. I mean, that's why we are all here. I know I can speak on behalf of Dr. Grant and Christy when I say that we're here to see you succeed, and our job is to watch you succeed and reach your career aspirations. So if the HDCD program sounds like something that you are interested in and you want to pursue, you have all of our contact information. Email us, call us, let us know, and we would love to see you in class next fall. So please let us know if you have any other questions for us, and feel free to reach out or email or call us anytime that you need anything if you want to ask more specific or in-depth questions of us. Thank you guys so much.